Hello, welcome to Lore Master's Lair. I'm your Lore Master, here today for another God video. This one is special as today we step into the land of 1,000 gods and start looking at the pantheon from Vudra. Want to guess how many of those 1,000 gods have full write-ups? If the answer was not nearly enough, you are correct. Well, at least we have a few, including Irori, which is one of the main 20, and we have our topic for the day, his nephew, Gruhastha. 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 Let's get started. As a deity committed to learning, Gruhastha would also like you to know where you can find information on him yourself. The first lesson would be found in the two different Gods of Magic books, one for each edition, as well as Divine Mysteries. For the full exploration, we find the information in Faiths of Galorian. Finally, we have a few extra lessons, but they will all be from Divine Mysteries today. The nephew of Irori, he followed his uncle's teachings in order to reach the divine. However, he focused most strongly on perfection of the mind. Worked to learn, worked to teach, worked to create a book so profound that it reached a path to divine wisdom. The Asvadeva Pujala, excuse me. So profound that that the author reached divinity when he finished penning the master work, combining with the book to take on his godhood. When as a human, Gruhastha appears as a young Vudrani man with hair past his shoulders, and red and green feathered wings, and a halo with the symbols of countless Vudrani deities ringing his head. Not exactly subtle. Of course, his true form now is the Asvadeva Pujala itself, the perfect book written by the perfect sage. Gruhastha is devoted to the spread of enlightenment and works to spread wisdom and knowledge and empathy to help people reach perfection of mind. This curse has a large focus on education and teaching, but also with preparations to deal with threats which will not listen to reason. Of course, there was also elements of reincarnation and a belief that it's what is not achieved in one lifetime can be achieved in many. Learning is held in high esteem by followers of Gruhastha, and they fund education opportunities in the largest cities and the most out-of-the-way villages. Along with that, they believe in restorative justice over purposeless punishment. The Church encourages relationships but does not prescribe any one formation of such. Likewise, veganism is encouraged but not forced. Though the faith is not always peaceful, and demons and asuras who work to pull humans into ignorance are the greatest enemies of the faith. Gruhastha's priests work to equip as many people with the tools they need to improve and grow, as well as remove barriers in their way. They travel to ensure even the most out-of-the-way places can gain knowledge from, even if from a temporary teacher, while at the same time collecting folktales and knowledge from them, ensuring that they are never lost. All people are shown equal respect, and making communities equitable is just as important as making them educated. Shrines to Gruhastha are found in almost every Vudrani settlement, even if it is simply just the image of the mandala or the local alphabetic numbers, the basis of which learning is built, of course. Some wealthy communities have a hollow pillar filled with a miniature library. Temples, on the other hand, are centers of learning where large libraries are maintained and students and scholars alike fill at all hours of the day. Gruhastha's realm is the garden of perfect enlightenment, a lush expanse in nirvana where every imaginable ecosystem and terrain exists in harmony with some form of civilization which does not disrupt the environment. Each civilization has own libraries and centers of learning. Time for other information. Obviously, the faith is strongest in Vudra, and from there, Jamure. And from there, it spreads across the Impossible Lands and the Golden Road, specifically the nations of Next, Mana Waste, Katapesh, Kadira, and Osirian. And eventually, to the city at the center of the world in Absalom. Holidays we have are the Svadeva Dujal, the celebration of the creation of the Azadeva Pujala. And of course, the holy text of the faith is the Asveda Pujala itself. We now move on to allies. Sako is an astral deva who once was a paladin of Gruhastha. She carries Dukar, a book where she collects the names and information of all creatures they are forced to kill. And his herald is the Book of Servants and Scholars. A Codex Archon, which collects the various interpretations and translations of the Asvadeva Pujala. As for allies, his faith works closely with good deities like Abadar and Kizong, not even to mention his own uncle Irori. In turn, faiths which encourage ignorance and destruction, like Nogabur, Ravirtha, and Lamash, to all stand against his faith. And the outer gods. Do not forget the outer gods. He hasn't. Now, at the end, we have side tangents today. But since we are taking a look at Vudra, I thought it best to aggregate them all together and tell the tale of Vudra, which of course begins with Vudravati, a beautiful goddess who wandered the surface of the planet while it was still forming. And she was loved by two brothers. The first was Emberol, the deity of the Emerald Sea. Usually depicted as a Vudrani man with a mournful expression and drab-colored clothing. He is the patient and calm brother, his waters gently lapping on the shorelines. In turn, his brother Obari is a stormy sea, looking of a barrel-chested sailor, the kind you see in any slightly scandalous romance novels. He believes in chasing passions across the world and following one's heart wherever storm winds pushed it. The two brothers loved Vudravati, and Vudravati loved them both and was more than happy to become lovers with both of them. The brothers were not as happy about this and instead started a massive sibling rivalry, which ended in the rest of the sea gods of the planet Galarian either killed or abandoning it. Vudravati finally ended the battle between the two by laying down between them, becoming the continent of Vudra as we have it now. And from her body sprouted the Vudrani people. Which, with that creation myth, brings us to the end of today's video. Despite being the land of 1,000 gods, the pool of ones I can actually make a full video for is unfortunately shallow as some of the other regions. But we're still not done yet. But on the other hand, of course, next week we will instead be looking a little far away from Galarian itself. I'll see y'all then.